Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pink English. It's good to have you with us again. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Daniel. Welcome back, guys. We are really excited about today's episode because we're diving into a topic that, honestly, I think we talk about almost every single week in our real lives.
We really do. It's one of those subjects that just comes up naturally, whether you're with close friends, colleagues, or even someone you've just met at a party. We're talking about movies.
Exactly. Cinema, films, the latest streaming hits. It's the ultimate social currency. But, Sophia, before we even get into how to talk about movies, I feel like we have to address the elephant in the room.
Which is?
The actual struggle of watching them. Because I had a bit of a Friday night fail this week.
Oh no, let me guess. You sat down, ready to relax, and then nothing happened.
Pretty much. I had everything ready. Snacks, comfortable clothes, phone on silent. I opened up Netflix and I swear I entered a time warp. I must have scrolled for 45 minutes.
The dreaded Netflix scroll. I know it so well. It's actually painful. You look at the top 10, then you check the new releases, then you go to your own watch list, and somehow nothing feels quite right.
That's it. It's this weird pressure. You feel like, okay, I have 2 hours of free time. I need to spend it perfectly. If I pick a bad movie, I feel like I've wasted my evening.
Exactly. It's what they call decision paralysis, right? There are just too many options. I actually read somewhere that having too many choices makes us less satisfied, not more.
I completely believe that. And the funny thing is, I ended up watching the trailer for a new sci-fi movie, then I read the reviews for a drama, and then I watched a clip from a comedy, and by the time I was done browsing, I was too tired to actually commit to a full 2-hour film.
So what did you do?
I just put on an old episode of Friends that I've seen 100 times and fell asleep.
That is the most relatable thing I've heard all week. I think we all do that. It's the safety watch. You know it's going to be good, so there's no risk.
Precisely. It's comfort food for the brain. But I think this highlights something interesting about movies. We use them for different things at different times. Sometimes you want art with a capital A, right? You want to be challenged. You want to see incredible cinematography and complex acting.
Definitely. Like, if I'm in the right headspace, I love a slow burn drama or a documentary that makes me think. I want to analyze the plot and appreciate the craft.
But other times?
Other times, life is just a lot. And I just want escapism. I want to turn my brain off. I don't care if the plot has holes or if the physics and the action scene makes no sense. I just want to be entertained. I want the popcorn experience.
I'm with you on that. I can be a bit of a snob about ratings sometimes. I check IMDb before I start anything. But honestly, sometimes a 50% rated movie is exactly what I need on a rainy Sunday.
Right? There's a time and place for everything, and that's what makes this topic so rich for conversation. Because when you ask someone, "Seen anything good lately?" you aren't just asking for a list of titles, you're kind of asking, what kind of mood have you been in?
That's a great way to put it. It's a way to connect. But the problem is, a lot of language learners, and even native speakers to be honest, get stuck at the surface level.
You mean the classic, "it was good" trap?
The "it was good" trap. Or "it was funny." "It was sad." It's like, okay, but that doesn't keep the conversation going. It's a bit of a dead end.
Totally. If you want to have a real connection, you need to be able to explain why it was good. Was it the chemistry between the actors? Was it the plot twists? Was it just the overall vibe and atmosphere?
Exactly. So that is our mission for today. We want to move you past those basic adjectives. We're going to look at how to describe the plot without giving away spoilers, which is a crucial social skill, by the way.
Oh, huge. There is nothing worse than someone who accidentally ruins the ending because they didn't know how to stop talking.
Guilty as charged, unfortunately. I've learned my lesson.
We'll also talk about how to discuss genres and moods, so instead of just saying, "it's a comedy," you can say, "it's a feel-good movie," or "it's a bit of a dark satire."
And we definitely need to talk about recommendations. How to tell someone you have to see this, or politely tell them, don't waste your time.
And the fun stuff, too. Guilty pleasures. Those movies that are so bad, they're actually good.
My favorite category. So, whether you're a film buff who loves analyzing camera angles, or you're just looking for something to watch this weekend, we've got you covered.
So grab your popcorn, settle in, and let's get into it. So, we've talked about the struggle of choosing a movie, but I have another question for you, Daniel. And I feel like the answer to this has changed a lot for people in the last few years.
Me. What's the question?
When you finally decide on a movie, where do you prefer to watch it? Are you still a die-hard cinema goer, or have you fully converted to the home cinema lifestyle?
Oh, that is the million-dollar question. It's tricky, isn't it? Because part of me wants to say, of course the cinema, the magic of the silver screen. But the realistic part of me, the lazy part, is very happy on my couch.
I know exactly what you mean. There is something nostalgic about the theater, right? The smell of that fake butter popcorn when you walk in, the dimming of the lights, the sound system that shakes your seat. You can't replicate that at home.
You really can't. It's the immersion. When I'm at the theater, I can't check my phone. Well, I shouldn't check my phone, and I can't get up to do laundry. I am forced to focus. It's a dedicated block of time just for the story.
Exactly. It's an event. But then there are the other people.
Ah, the public part of the public theater.
The public. I went to see a movie last month. It was a quiet, emotional drama, and the guy sitting behind me was eating his popcorn with his mouth open. It was like crunch, crunch, crunch right in my ear during the saddest scene of the movie.
Ah, that is my absolute pet peeve. Loud chewers are the worst. For me, it's the seat kicker. You know, the person behind you who can't sit still and keeps tapping the back of your chair? It drives me up the wall. I spend the whole movie tense, just waiting for the next kick.
Yes. And you sit there debating, should I turn around and say something, or should I just be passive aggressive and sigh loudly?
I always go for the passive-aggressive sigh. It never works, but it makes me feel better. And don't get me started on the people who text with full brightness on their screens. It's like a lighthouse beaming in the corner of your eye.
It really breaks the spell, doesn't it? So when you weigh all that against watching at home, the couch starts looking pretty good.
The couch has some serious advantages. Number one, the pause button.
Yes, the power of pause.
It is a game changer. If I need a snack, pause. If I need the bathroom, pause. If I didn't understand what a character just mumbled, I can rewind 10 seconds. You can't do that in an IMAX theater.
That is actually a huge point. And speaking of understanding what they said, can we talk about subtitles?
Oh, I am a subtitle convert, 100%.
Me too. And I feel like this is a massive trend now. Even native speakers use subtitle all the time on Netflix. The sound mixing in modern movies is so weird. The explosions are deafeningly loud, but the dialogue is just this quiet whisper.
Exactly. You're constantly writing the volume button. Up for talking, down for action, up for talking. Subtitles just fix everything. Plus, you catch details in the dialogue that you would definitely miss otherwise.
Totally. It's funny though, 10 years ago, if you put subtitles on a movie in English, people would ask, why? Is it a foreign film? Now it's just standard practice. It's part of the cozy setup.
The cozy setup. Sweatpants, cheap snacks from your own kitchen, subtitles on, and no one kicking your seat. It's hard to beat.
It really is. But I think there is a trade-off. At home, it's so easy to get distracted. I'm guilty of second screening. Watching the movie but also scrolling through Instagram on my phone.
Guilt is charged. I do that too, especially if the movie gets a little slow in the middle. In the theater, you're trapped, in a good way. You have to push through the slow parts, and often the payoff is worth it. At home, I might just turn it off.
That's true. We have less patience at home. So it sounds like we are both team cinema for the big blockbusters, the huge action movies, the visual spectacles, but team sofa for everything else?
I think that's a fair assessment. If Tom Cruise is jumping off a cliff, I want to see it on a screen the size of a building. If it's a romantic comedy or a complex murder mystery, I'll take my blanket and my pause button, thank you very much.
Well said. And honestly, this little debate we just had, this is perfect small talk material. Asking someone, do you prefer the theater or streaming? Gets people talking immediately because everyone has a preference.
Everyone has an opinion on popcorn prices, too.
Don't get me started on the price of snacks. That's a whole other episode. But okay, so we've chosen the movie, we've decided where to watch it. Now comes the hard part.
The actual conversation about the content.
Right. You finish the movie, you meet up with a friend, they ask, "So, how was it?" And your brain just goes blank.
And you default to the boring answers. It was good. It was okay. I liked it.
Exactly. And as we said before, that is where the conversation dies. We want to help you build a bridge from "it was good" to an actual interesting discussion.
We want you to be able to describe the vibe. Was it tense? Was it heartwarming? We want you to be able to summarize the plot without ruining the ending. And we want you to be able to talk about the acting like a pro.
So, let's leave the popcorn and the comfy sofa behind for a moment, and let's get into the core of it. How do we move past "it was good"?
Let's break it down.
Okay, Daniel, so imagine this scenario. You're at work on Monday morning, you're standing by the coffee machine, and a colleague asks you, "Hey, did you see that new blockbuster over the weekend?"
Okay, standard Monday morning small talk. I'm picturing it.
You say, "Yes," and then they ask the inevitable follow-up question, "How was it?"
And this is the moment of truth, because 90% of people will just say, it was good.
"It was good." Or maybe, if they are feeling adventurous, "It was okay."
And then, silence.
Dead silence. You can literally hear the conversation dying. The other person nods, says, "Oh, cool," and walks away.
It's painful because "it was good" is what I call a conversational dead end. It's like a period at the end of a sentence. You aren't giving the other person anything to grab onto. You're not giving them a hook.
Exactly. A conversation is supposed to be like a game of tennis, right? You hit the ball over the net and they hit it back. But saying "it was good" is like catching the ball, putting it in your pocket, and walking off the court.
That is a perfect analogy. Game over. So, the goal of today's main discussion is to teach you how to keep that ball in the air. We want to help you go from a one-word answer to a three-sentence answer that actually invites a response.
Right. We want to give you a structure because often the reason we say "it was good" isn't because we have no thoughts, it's because we have too many thoughts and we don't know where to start.
Precisely. Your brain is scrambling. You're thinking about the ending, the actors, the music, that one funny scene, and your brain just shortcuts to "it was good." So we are going to break this down into 3 easy pillars. If you hit these 3 points, you will sound like a movie critic, or at least a very interesting conversationalist.
I love the idea of pillars. What's the first one?
The first one is mood and genre, but not just the label. Don't just say "it was an action movie." Tell us about the vibe. Was it stressful? Was it lighthearted?
That's my favorite part. I want to know how the movie made you feel. Did you leave the theater crying? Were you on the edge of your seat? That's the emotional hook.
Exactly. The second pillar is the plot, and this is the tricky one. We need to teach you how to describe the premise, the setup, without ruining the ending.
The no spoilers rule. This is vital. We'll give you some sentence starters like "it's set in" or "it follows the story of," so you can sound smooth and professional.
And finally, the third pillar, the elements. This is where you talk about the acting, the visuals, the chemistry, or even the soundtrack. This is where you give your opinion some weight.
So instead of "it was good," you end up saying, "Honestly, it was a total tearjerker. It's about a family dealing with a loss, and the acting was just incredible. I was a mess by the end."
See? Now that is an answer I can work with. I can ask, "Oh, was it depressing?" Or "Who is in it?" You've opened 3 different doors for the conversation to continue.
That is the goal. So, are you ready to dive into the first pillar? Let's talk about how to describe the mood without sounding like a robot.
Let's do it.
All right, let's dive into our first pillar, mood and genre. Now, Daniel, when someone asks what kind of movie something is, the instinct is to just give the label, right?
Right. We go for the video store categories. It's a comedy. It's an action movie. It's a horror.
And while that's factually correct, it's also kind of boring. Plus, it's not very descriptive. I mean, think about comedy. A dark, cynical satire is technically a comedy, but so is a movie about a talking dog. Those are 2 very different vibes.
That is a very good point. If you recommend a comedy to me and it turns out to be a talking dog movie, I might be disappointed. So we want to encourage you to talk about the mood. What does the movie do to you? How does it make you feel?
Exactly. Let's start with the emotional stuff, because sometimes you just need to let it all out. We call these movies tearjerkers.
A classic term, a tearjerker. It literally jerks or pulls the tears out of you.
These are the movies where you need a box of tissues next to you on the sofa. You might say to a friend, "Oh, don't watch that unless you're ready to cry." It's a total tearjerker.
And if you want to emphasize how much you cried, you can use the phrase, "It had me bawling my eyes out." To bawl, B-A-W-L, means to cry noisily and uncontrollably.
We've all been there. But there is a nuance here, isn't there? Because there is a difference between a movie that is moving and a movie that is just depressing.
Yes, that's an important distinction. If a movie is moving or touching, it's sad, but in a beautiful, emotional way. You feel full of emotion. But if you say a movie is depressing or heavy, that usually means it left you feeling empty or hopeless.
Right. Schindler's List is heavy. The Notebook is a tearjerker. Different vibes.
Okay, so that's sadness. What about when we want the opposite? When we've had a long, hard week at work and we just want to smile?
Then you are looking for a feel-good movie. This is such a useful hyphenated adjective. It does exactly what it says. It makes you feel good. It's usually lighthearted, optimistic, and low stress.
I love a good feel-good movie. And often, these overlap with another category, rom-coms, romantic comedies.
Ah, the rom-com. Now, be honest, Daniel. Do you watch rom-coms?
I will admit, under pressure, that I have enjoyed a rom-com or two. They're comforting, but often we describe them as being a bit cheesy or corny.
Cheesy is a great word. It means it's a bit cliché, maybe the dialogue is too perfect, maybe the ending is totally predictable, but we love it anyway. You might say, it was super cheesy, but it was exactly what I needed.
Exactly. It's an easy watch. That's another great phrase. It's an easy watch. It means you don't have to think too hard.
Okay, but what if I do want to think? Or better yet, what if I want to be stressed out?
Then we move into the thriller category. And the best phrase here is, "It kept me on the edge of my seat."
I love that visual. You are literally leaning forward because you are so tense. You can also call it a nail biter.
Because you're nervously biting your fingernails. You might say, "It was so intense my heart was pounding the whole time." Or, "It was a total adrenaline rush."
These are great for action movies, too. It was non-stop action. But Daniel, I know your favorite category is the one that messes with your head.
You know me well. I love a psychological thriller. I love a movie that is mind-bending.
Mind-bending, like it twists your reality.
Exactly. Movies like Inception or The Matrix. You walk out of the theater and you're not sure what is real anymore. You might describe it by saying, "It was a total mind trip," or "You have to watch it twice to understand it."
And closely related to that is the slow burn.
Yes, a slow burn is a movie that starts very quietly. It's not full of explosions. It builds the tension slowly, scene by scene, until the very end.
Some people find slow burns boring, but others love the atmosphere. So if you recommend one, you should warn people. Say, it's a bit of a slow burn, but the payoff is worth it.
The payoff is worth it. That's a great phrase to defend a slower movie.
So, do you see the difference? Instead of just saying it was a drama, you can say it was a really heavy, moving tearjerker.
And instead of saying it was a sci-fi movie, you can say it was a mind-bending trip that kept me on the edge of my seat.
It instantly makes you sound more interesting. You're sharing an experience, not just a category.
Precisely. So now that we've established the mood, we know how the movie feels, we need to talk about what actually happens in it.
The plot. And this, my friends, is where friendships are made or broken, because we have to navigate the dangerous waters of spoilers.
How to explain the story without ruining the surprise. Let's get into it.
Okay, so we've covered the mood. We know if it's a tearjerker or a thrill ride. Now we arrive at the most dangerous part of the conversation.
The danger zone.
Describing the plot. Daniel, I feel like this is where 90% of people mess up. They either say too little, it's about a guy, or they say way, way too much.
Oh, absolutely. There is a special place in hell for people who spoil movies. You know the type. You ask, what is the movie about? And they proceed to tell you every single scene in chronological order, including the ending.
Yes! They think they are being helpful, but they are actually ruining the experience. By the time they finish talking, you don't need to watch the movie anymore. You've basically heard the audiobook version.
Exactly. So the first rule of talking about the plot is respect the spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. It's such a crucial phrase. If you are even remotely close to revealing a surprise, you have to say, spoiler alert, or just ask, do you want to know what happens, or do you want to be surprised?
Always ask permission. But let's assume you're just trying to give a summary, a teaser, so your friend can decide if they want to watch it. You need a structure. You can't just ramble.
Right. You need an elevator pitch. Short, snappy, and intriguing. So what's the best way to start?
I always start with the setting. Give me the where and the when. The best phrase for this is, it's set in, or it takes place in.
Simple. It's set in 1920s Paris, or it takes place in a futuristic dystopian world.
Exactly. Immediately I have a picture in my head. I know the vibe. Once you've set the scene, you introduce the protagonist, the main character. And please, don't just say it's about a guy.
It's about a guy who does stuff. Very descriptive.
Instead, use the phrase, it follows. This is such a professional-sounding verb for movies. It follows a retired detective, or it follows a struggling jazz musician.
It follows. I love that. It implies a journey. So we have the setting. It's set in New York. We have the character. It follows a young woman who just started a new job. Now we need the problem.
The conflict. Every movie has a conflict. This is the premise. You explain the setup, and then you stop right at the moment things go wrong. We call this the inciting incident in storytelling.
So you give the setup, and then you introduce the but.
Exactly. It follows a young woman who starts a new job at a fashion magazine, but her boss turns out to be a nightmare.
Boom. That's The Devil Wears Prada. You didn't tell me how it ends. You didn't tell me if she quits or if she gets fired. You just gave me the hook.
That is the perfect summary. You establish the normal world, then you introduce the problem, and then you zip your mouth.
Zip it. That's the hard part, especially if a movie has a crazy twist.
Oh, twists are tricky. If a movie has a massive plot twist like The Sixth Sense or Fight Club, you have a moral obligation to protect that secret.
So how do you hype it up without slipping up?
You can use phrases like, I don't want to give too much away, or I won't spoil it, but...
I also like saying, you have to go in blind.
Yes, you have to go in blind. That means don't watch the trailer, don't read the reviews, just watch it. That is the highest praise you can give a movie with a twist.
Or you can say there's a huge twist at the end that changes everything. Just knowing there's a twist gets me excited, even if I don't know what it is.
True, but be careful even with that. Sometimes knowing there's a twist makes you look for it.
That's true. You're over there analyzing every scene like, is he a ghost? Is she dreaming?
Exactly. Sometimes the best policy is just to say, the premise sounds simple, but it gets really crazy.
I like that. It gets really crazy. So let's recap the formula quickly. First, you have the setting. It's set in. Then you introduce the character. It follows. Next is the conflict. That's where you use but. And finally, the stop. I won't give anything else away.
That's it. If you stick to that structure, you will be the most popular person at the dinner party because you're interesting, but you're not annoying.
And you won't get sent to the special place in hell that Daniel mentioned earlier.
Exactly. Keep your soul safe. Don't spoil movies.
Okay, so we've covered the mood, the vibe, and the plot, the story. But a movie is more than just a script, right? Sometimes the story is okay, but the people in it are amazing.
The acting, or the visuals, or the music. Sometimes these elements are the real reason we watch.
Right. How many times have you said, the movie was mediocre, but Meryl Streep was fantastic?
Every time she's on screen. So let's talk about how to critique the acting and the visuals. How do we say an actor was good without just using the word good?
Let's get into the technical stuff. Okay, so we've got the mood and we've got the plot. But Daniel, sometimes the story isn't the main selling point, is it? Sometimes you watch a movie just because of who is in it.
Absolutely. The star power. A lot of people will watch anything if their favorite actor is in it. But there is a difference between a good actor and a good performance in a specific movie.
Right. And saying he acted good or she was good is, well, it's a bit flat. It's like saying the food was yummy. We can do better.
We can definitely do better. One of the most common things native speakers talk about is the chemistry.
Oh, chemistry is huge. And it's not just for romance, right?
Not at all. Obviously, in a rom-com, if the two leads don't have chemistry, the movie fails. You have to believe they are falling in love. If they have zero chemistry, it's painful to watch.
It's so awkward. You're sitting there thinking, these two look like they've never met before. But you can also have chemistry in a buddy cop movie or between a hero and a villain.
Exactly. You might say the chemistry between the two leads was electric, or they played off each other really well. It means the energy flowed naturally.
I love that phrase, played off each other. It sounds like a musician jamming. But what about when one actor is just better than everyone else?
Then we say they stole the show.
They stole the show. This is such a great idiom. It usually refers to a supporting actor, right? Someone who isn't the main character, but they were so funny or so intense that you couldn't take your eyes off them.
Exactly. You see this a lot with villains. The hero might be a bit boring, but the villain steals the show. You walk out of the theater talking about them.
Or sometimes a child actor steals the show. You'd say, the movie was okay, but the kids stole the show. It's a great way to give a specific compliment, even if you didn't love the whole film.
That's a key strategy. You can hate the plot, but love the acting. You can say the script was weak, but the performances were stellar.
Stellar, like a star. That's a high-level adjective.
It is. But movies are a visual medium. Sometimes we don't care about the acting or the plot. We just want to see something beautiful.
The eye candy.
Exactly. The technical term is cinematography. It's a bit of a mouthful. Cinematography.
It is a long word, but you don't always have to use the technical term. You can just say, the visuals were stunning, or it was beautifully shot.
Beautifully shot is a very common natural phrase. It means the lighting, the colors, the camera angles, it all looked like a painting.
I feel like a lot of sci-fi movies or historical dramas rely on this. You might say it was a visual feast.
A visual feast. I like that. But Sophia, there is a trap here. Have you ever seen a movie that looked incredible? $1 million special effects, gorgeous locations, but the story was empty?
Oh, all the time. We have a phrase for that, don't we? Style over substance.
Exactly. It was all style, no substance. It means it was just a pretty wrapper with nothing inside. That is a very sophisticated critique to drop at a dinner party.
It makes you sound like a real critic. Honestly, I thought it was a bit of a case of style over substance. Very Daniel.
I'll take that as a compliment. But we can't forget the invisible character in the movie, the thing that tells you how to feel before anyone says a word.
The music, the soundtrack, or the score.
Just a quick distinction here. Soundtrack usually refers to the collection of songs, like pop songs used in the movie. The score is the instrumental music composed specifically for the film.
That's true, though in casual conversation, people mix them up all the time. But if you want to be precise, you can say the score was haunting.
The score was haunting is a great word. It means the music stays with you, it lingers. It's usually for something sad or scary.
Or if it's an action movie, you might say the music was epic, or it really set the tone.
It set the tone. That is such a useful phrase. The opening scene starts, the music kicks in, and you immediately know, okay, this is going to be intense.
So if we put this all together, we can give a really nuanced opinion. Instead of it was good, you can say, the plot was a bit slow, but the cinematography was breathtaking and the music was haunting.
Or, it was total style over substance, but the villain stole the show, so it was worth watching.
See? That is so much more meaningful than I liked it. You are evaluating the parts of the movie.
And that leads us perfectly into the final step. You've analyzed the mood, the plot, and the technical elements. Now you have to give your final verdict.
The review. Should your friend watch it? Is it overrated or is it a hidden gem?
Let's talk about how to give a recommendation and how to handle it when you disagree with everyone else.
All right, we have analyzed the mood, the plot, and the acting. Now comes the moment of truth, the final verdict.
This is the most social part of the movie conversation. This is where you either convince your friend to watch something or you warn them to stay far, far away.
Exactly. It's the art of the recommendation. But Daniel, have you ever had someone recommend a movie to you ineffectively? You know, someone who is just way too aggressive about it?
Oh, absolutely. The aggressive recommender. They grab your shoulders and say, "You have to watch this. It is the best movie ever made. If you don't watch it, you're crazy."
And that actually makes me not want to watch it. It creates too much pressure.
Exactly. It sets the bar too high. So we want to teach you a better way to recommend movies. It's not about forcing your taste on someone. It's about tailoring the recommendation to them.
The best formula for this is the if-then structure.
Right. You say, if you liked movie A, you will love movie B.
This is so helpful because it gives context. If you tell me, if you liked Interstellar, you'll love this, I immediately know it's going to be sci-fi, emotional, and visually huge.
Or, if you're into dark comedies, this is right up your alley.
Right up your alley. That is such a good idiom. It means this is perfectly suited to your tastes. I saw this documentary and thought of you. It's right up your alley.
It shows you were paying attention to what they like. Now, on the flip side, what happens when you watch a movie that everyone else loves, but you hate it?
Ooh, the unpopular opinion. This is dangerous territory, especially if you are talking to a superfan.
We've all been there. Everyone is saying, it's a masterpiece, it's iconic. And you're sitting there thinking, really? I was bored.
The key word here is overrated.
Overrated. It means people rate it too highly. But you have to be careful how you say it. You can't just say, that movie sucks. That's rude.
You need what we call softeners. These are little phrases that soften the blow. You can start with, to be fair, or honestly, or personally.
Personally is your shield. It makes it subjective. So you say, personally, I thought it was a bit overrated. Or, I can see why people like it, but it wasn't for me.
It wasn't for me. That is the ultimate polite way to dismiss a movie. It's not a bad movie, it just didn't match my taste.
Another great phrase for this situation is, it didn't live up to the hype.
The hype. That's the excitement and marketing buzz surrounding a movie.
Exactly. When the trailers are amazing and the reviews are glowing, and then you see the movie and it's just meh. You say, it was okay, but it didn't live up to the hype.
I feel like that happens with a lot of summer blockbusters. But sometimes the opposite happens. You watch a movie with zero expectations and it blows you away.
Those are the best. We call those hidden gems.
A hidden gem, like a treasure you found in the dirt. You might say, I found this random movie on Netflix last night and it was a total hidden gem.
Or you can call it underrated. That movie's so underrated. More people need to talk about it.
And if you had low expectations but ended up loving it, you can simply say, I was pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised. That's a great reaction phrase. I thought it was going to be another silly action movie, but I was pleasantly surprised by the story.
So we have a full spectrum here. If you love it and want to share it, it's a must-watch, or it's right up your alley. If you found a treasure, it's a hidden gem. If you didn't like a popular movie, it didn't live up to the hype, or it wasn't for me.
And if it was just terrible?
Then you can just say, don't waste your time. Or my favorite, that's 2 hours of my life I'll never get back.
Harsh but fair. Sometimes you have to warn people.
Exactly. So we've covered a huge amount of ground today, from the moment you scroll through Netflix to describing the mood and plot to critiquing the acting and finally giving your recommendation.
We have, and I think if you use these phrases, you're going to find that your conversations about movies become much deeper and much more fun. You won't just be nodding and saying, it was good.
No more it was good. That is forbidden from now on.
So, let's take a breath. We've thrown a lot of vocabulary at you. Phrase and verbs, idioms, adjectives. I think it's time we pause the movie, turn up the lights, and do a quick recap.
Let's review the highlights in our language focus. Wow, Daniel, we have covered a serious amount of ground today. I feel like we just marathoned the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Ideally with fewer orcs and more useful vocabulary. But you're right, we threw a lot of phrases at our listeners. So let's take a moment to pause, rewind, and recap the highlights. We want to make sure these phrases actually stick in your brain so you can use them the next time you're at a dinner party.
Exactly. Let's think of this as the post-credit scene where we break down the best parts. Let's start with the first big shift we talked about, moving from labels to moods.
Right, because saying it's a drama is boring. We want to describe the emotional experience. So if a movie made you cry, and I mean really cry, what do we call it?
A tearjerker. It jerks the tears right out of you. And if you were crying noisily, you were bawling your eyes out.
And on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, if you just wanted something light, happy, and optimistic.
That is a feel-good movie. Or if it's a romantic comedy that is a little too perfect but you love it anyway, it's cheesy.
Cheesy is such a great word. It's affectionate criticism. And then we had my personal favorite category, the stressful ones.
The edge-of-your-seat thrillers or nail-biters.
And if the movie is intellectually complex, confusing in a good way, or messes with your reality.
It's mind-bending or a total mind trip.
Perfect. So that covers the vibe. Now let's look at the plot. We gave you a very specific formula to sound professional when you summarize a story.
Yes, the elevator pitch. Instead of rambling, you start with the setting. The phrase was, it's set in or it takes place in.
It's set in 19th century London. It takes place in a galaxy far, far away. Once you have the setting, you introduce the protagonist using that special verb, it follows.
It follows. It's so much better than it's about a guy. It follows a detective. It follows a high school student. It sounds like a journey.
And then the most important rule of plot summaries, the spoiler alert.
If there is a big surprise, you have to zip it. You can say, I won't give anything away, or you have to go in blind.
Go in blind. That is the golden rule for movies with a twist. Okay, moving on to the third group, the elements. How do we talk about the acting and the visuals?
We talked about chemistry. If the actors connect well, the chemistry is electric. If they don't, they have zero chemistry.
And if a supporting actor is better than the main star,
They stole the show. The villain stole the show.
and for the visual side of things, if the movie looks incredible, great lighting, great colors, we talk about the cinematography or we just say it was beautifully shot.
Or it was a visual feast. But remember the warning Daniel gave us. Sometimes a movie is beautiful, but empty. That's style over substance.
A very sophisticated critique. Now let's talk about the sound. We distinguish between the soundtrack, the songs, and the score, the instrumental music. And if the music stays with you and creates a spooky or sad atmosphere.
It's haunting. The score was haunting. Or if it sets the mood right away, it set the tone.
Excellent. Now finally, we have to talk about how to give your verdict. How do you tell people what you thought without being rude or aggressive?
If you want to recommend it, you tailor it to them. If you liked X, you'll love this. Or it's right up your alley.
Right up your alley. That means it fits their taste perfectly. But what if everyone else loves the movie and you didn't?
Then it's overrated. But be polite, use your softeners. To be fair, I thought it was a bit overrated. Or honestly, it didn't live up to the hype.
And the ultimate polite rejection, it just wasn't for me.
But on the flip side, if you find a great movie that nobody knows about,
That is a hidden gem, or it's underrated.
and if you expected it to be bad, but it was actually good,
I was pleasantly surprised.
there you have it. That is a massive toolkit. If you mix and match these, it was a mind-bending thriller, beautifully shot, but the ending didn't live up to the hype. You're going to sound fluent, natural, and opinionated.
Exactly. You sound like a person with taste, not just a person with a textbook.
So now that we've reviewed the theory, we need to put it into practice. We need to get your mouth muscles moving.
It's workout time. Let's move on to our guided practice.
Okay, listeners, now it is your turn. We've given you the vocabulary, we've given you the structures, but as we always say, you can't learn to swim by reading a book about swimming. You have to get in the water.
Exactly. You have to get these words out of your mouth. So, we are going to do our three-part training session. We'll start with imitation, move to a listening challenge, and finish with you answering some questions.
Are you ready? Let's start with Section 1. Repeat after us.
I'm going to say a sentence using the phrases we learned today. I want you to listen to the rhythm, the pauses, and the emotion. Then repeat it exactly as I said it.
Don't be a robot. If Daniel sounds skeptical, you sound skeptical. If he sounds excited, you sound excited. Let's go.
Sentence number 1. We're practicing a polite negative opinion. Honestly, it didn't live up to the hype.
Good. Did you catch that honestly at the start? It softens the blow. Let's try it again. Honestly, it didn't live up to the hype. Nice. Sentence number 2. We're practicing the it follows structure. It follows a detective, but nothing is what it seems. Watch the pause after detective. Let's do it one more time. It follows a detective, but nothing is what it seems. Great. Last one. Let's practice a mixed review using but. The plot was a bit slow, but the visuals were stunning. Make sure you stress the word stunning. You really want to emphasize the positive part. The plot was a bit slow, but the visuals were stunning. Excellent. Now let's move on to Section 2, the mystery movie.
This is a fun one. Daniel is going to describe a very famous movie using the structures we learned: setting, character, mood. I want you to listen and see if you can guess what movie he is talking about. Okay, I'll try to make it obvious, but I'll use our professional vocabulary. Ready? Here we go. It is set in the early 1900s on a massive ship in the middle of the ocean. It follows a poor artist who wins a ticket in a card game and a wealthy woman who feels trapped in her life. The chemistry between the two leads is absolutely electric. It starts as a romance, but it turns into a disaster movie. Spoiler alert, the ship sinks. And honestly, it is the ultimate tearjerker.
Okay, that was a good description. The ship sinks might have been a bit of a spoiler, Daniel.
I think the statute of limitations on that spoiler has expired. Everyone knows the ship sinks.
Fair enough. So, listeners, did you guess it? Of course, it's Titanic.
Did you hear how I used the structure? It is set in, it follows, the chemistry is, it is a tearjerker. You can use that exact same flow for any movie you want to describe.
Perfect. Now let's move to Section 3. Your turn.
I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I want you to answer them out loud right now, wherever you are. Use the vocabulary we just practiced.
Don't just say yes or no. Give us a full sentence.
Question number 1. What is a movie you saw recently that was a hidden gem? Something people don't know about but is really good.
Ooh, I hope you used the phrase, it follows, to tell us what it's about.
Question number 2. Do you prefer edge-of-your-seat thrillers or feel-good comedies, and why?
Nice. Remember to talk about how it makes you feel.
Last question. What is a popular movie that you think is overrated? Remember to be polite.
Did you start with personally or to be fair? If you did, good job. You survived the social zinging danger zone.
Great work, everyone. If you can answer those questions smoothly, you are ready for any movie conversation.
Absolutely. Now, before we let you go, we want to wrap up with something a little lighter. We've talked about high-quality cinema, but we haven't talked about the movies we watch when no one is looking.
Ah, the guilty pleasures, my favorite topic. Let's finish up with some culture talk.
So, Daniel, we have spent the last 30 minutes acting like very sophisticated film critics. We've talked about cinematography, haunting scores, and complex plot structures.
We have. We sound very cultured, very intelligent.
But we have to be honest with our listeners. We don't always watch masterpieces, do we? Sometimes we watch trash.
We absolutely watch trash. We call these guilty pleasures.
A guilty pleasure. It's something you enjoy, but you are a little bit embarrassed to admit. For me, it's bad reality TV movies. You know, the ones where the acting is terrible and the plot makes no sense, but I can't stop watching.
I think everyone has one. For me, it's disaster movies. I'm talking about the really low-budget ones. Sharknado, Mega Croc versus Super Octopus.
Oh no, those are awful.
They are terrible, but they fall into a special category we call so bad it's good.
So bad, it's good. That is a real genre. You watch it because it fails. You're laughing at the movie, not with it.
Exactly, and closely related to this is the concept of hate watching.
Hate watching. This is a very modern phenomenon. It's when you watch a TV show or a movie series just so you can complain about it with your friends.
Guilty as charged. I watched the last season of a certain dragon show just so I could be angry about the plot holes on Twitter. It's a bonding experience. Complaining about bad art brings people together.
It really does. But on the flip side, sometimes we watch things not because they are bad, but because they are safe. We call these comfort movies.
Ah, the comfort watch. This is the movie you put on when you're sick or sad or just hungover.
Exactly. It's like an emotional blanket. For a lot of people, it's Harry Potter or The Lord of the Rings. You've seen it 50 times, you know every line.
That's the key. You don't actually have to watch it. It's background noise. You can clean your house, scroll on your phone, and you still know exactly what's happening.
It's predictable, and that's why we love it. In a chaotic world, a comfort movie is a safe harbor.
And because we watch these movies so many times, they seep into our language. This is another huge part of movie culture. Movie quotes.
Oh, huge. If you're in an English-speaking country, people drop movie quotes into conversation constantly.
It's like a secret handshake. If I say, "I'll be back," in a heavy accent.
Everyone knows it's the Terminator.
If I say, "May the Force be with you."
Star Wars, obviously.
But even in regular office situations, if someone suggests a bad plan, you might hear someone whisper, "I have a bad feeling about this."
Or if you're trying to motivate your team, you might say, "There's no place like home." Wait, that's not motivation.
No, that's The Wizard of Oz. Maybe "Show me the money" from Jerry Maguire works better for business.
There you go. The point is, movies aren't just 90 minutes of entertainment. They are a shared language. They are how we bond, whether we're crying over a masterpiece, laughing at a shark movie, or quoting lines back and forth.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to own your taste. If you love high art documentaries, great. If you love cheesy rom-coms, also great. Just own it.
Be proud of your guilty pleasures.
So we've covered the vocabulary, the structure, and the culture. Now let's wrap this blockbuster episode up with a final summary.
Okay, Daniel, we have had a lot of fun today talking about tear-jerkers, zombie apocalypses, and hate-watching TV shows. But before we wrap up, I want to bring it back to the core mission.
Right. The mission is to make sure that the next time someone asks you about a movie, you don't just freeze and say, "It was good."
Exactly. So for our listeners who like a queer plan, can you give us the cheat sheet? What is the perfect sequence for this conversation?
Absolutely. Think of this as your 4-step blueprint. If you follow this order, you will never run out of things to say.
Okay, step 1 is?
The opener. This is the invitation. You ask, "Seen anything good lately?" or "Have you been to the cinema recently?" It's low pressure, just testing the waters.
Simple enough. Then, once you name the movie, we go to step 2.
Step 2 is the vibe. Don't start with the plot, start with the feeling. Use your mood words. It was a total tearjerker, or it was a mind-bending thriller, or it was a cheesy feel-good movie.
This sets the stage emotionally. I like that.
Step 3 is the premise. This is where you use our magic formula. It is set in place or time, and it follows character.
And remember, stop before the ending. No spoilers.
Exactly. Give the setup, introduce the conflict, and then zip your lip. And finally, step 4 is the verdict.
The recommendation.
Right. Tell them who it's for. If you like sci-fi, it's a must-watch. Or, be honest, honestly, it was overrated, or it didn't live up to the hype.
So the flow is open, vibe, premise, verdict.
That's it. If you hit those 4 points, you have successfully critiqued a film in English. You sound smart, structured, and engaging.
And you avoided the awkward silence. Perfection.
It works every time.
Well, after all this talk, I think I know exactly what I'm doing tonight. I'm going to find the cheesiest rom-com I can find, get a big bowl of popcorn, and turn my brain completely off.
And I will probably be scouring the charts for a high-rated documentary about, I don't know, fun guy or architecture.
Typical Daniel, but hey, whatever works. Before we sign off, though, we really want to hear from you guys.
Yes, we do. In the comments below, we have a challenge for you. We want you to tell us about a hidden gem. Tell us about a movie you love that not enough people know about.
And try to use the structure. Tell us the vibe, use it is set in and it follows, and tell us why we should watch it.
Don't worry about making it perfect. Just give it a try. We read every single comment, and honestly, we need some new movie recommendations ourselves.
Absolutely. If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, please give us a like and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us keep these conversations going.
And turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next topic. We've got some great ones coming up.
Thanks for hanging out with us today, everyone. Enjoy your movie night, whatever you choose to watch.
See you next time. Bye.